New Radio Sports Network and 104.1 WRLU, your home for Green Bay Gamblers hockey, here for another episode of the show with Green Bay Gamblers head coach Pat Mikesch. And a little tardy on the congratulations, coach, but 200 wins in your coaching career, that's got to be pretty something special for you.
Yeah, I was not aware at all that it came up, and I saw it somewhere on social media. So it was, yeah, I appreciate it. I'd much rather have John Cooper's winning percentage that he had here, but it's been a great place to coach and to grow. And obviously I've been fortunate to do it for quite a stretch here.
Is there a win that sticks out to you at all in those 200 victories?
I don't know. This past Saturday's win is the most memorable in a while now, playing with an emergency goalie against the best team in the league. And but there's been numerous games that, you know, you kind of remember based off of great players. Casey Middlestad was a great one. We won a game to gain home ice in Dubuque on the road, which was a place that I struggled to win as a coach for a stretch of time. So that was a memorable game as well. But, you know, they're all fun until you have to play the next game, and then you start stressing over that one.
So take us into that game, because I will admit I was listening in a hotel room trying to put kids to bed, and I kept on hearing Buckley. And no, I mean, we write the stories, we talk about your goaltenders enough, and I'm like, God, I do not know about Buckley. You kind of still lead their emergency goalie, and in the pros, we kind of know how it works, right? There's a guy that just happens to be there, and if somebody needs him, he goes down in. He plays rec league hockey at a rink nearby. We've seen stories. I know the Blackhawks had a really good one a few years ago. I think even the Flames had one. Tell us a little bit about how, when all of a sudden, against that best team in the league, Bo Buckley gets to suit up as a Green Bay Gambler.
Well, it kind of started Wednesday night. We were supposed to get Elias back from Slovakia, and he was scheduled to arrive. We found out earlier that day that he got stuck in COVID protocols over there and was going to have to stay an extra 10 days. And so we started looking around, seeing where we could find somebody to back up Aaron for the weekend. And we were having troubles getting a North American League goalie. Even one of our affiliates we couldn't get in. And so Bo practices with us on a regular basis. He has, right on through his Notre Dame career and since he left there. And so it was, we made the decision that Bo, he had done it in the past, will back up Aaron for the weekend and we'll go that way. And then after the first period on Friday night, when Aaron had to pull himself with the injury, Bo took over Friday night and played the last two periods of that game, and then the entire game on Saturday.
And God, in Notre Dame, the high school in Green Bay, right? Not
Correct,
Notre Dame
yes.
University.
Correct. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a local thing. Luckily, we know that there's a Notre Dame nearby. And, could you kind of gauge with him what his reaction was when, Aaron had to take himself out, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, Bo, not only is it likely that you got to finish off this game, you got another game tomorrow.
Well, I think Aaron gave him the warning at the end of the period that I don't think I can do this. And so Bo was probably more prepared for it than the rest of the team. And so I met with the training staff and doctors after our meeting with the players after the first period. And then they told me Aaron wasn't going to be able to go. So we let Bo know, the entire team know. And we played two great periods for Bo. And actually we tied both those periods on Friday night. We were down 2-0 after the first period. And that's when Aaron got hurt. And then we tied those next two periods and then went into Saturday, and Aaron was still feeling that he was going to be able to go on Saturday. So he had spent all day with the trainers and the doctors and thought he was ready to go. And then it was during warmups that he started to tighten up. And so it was back to Bo, and it was a great story. I mean, Bo played well. The guys played amazing in front of him, and to win an overtime game was exciting for everyone.
And yes, and in that overtime goal, I found out you can't put toddlers to bed during overtime hockey. I should have either taken it off or be like, kids, you know what? This isn't going to be worth the time. How much do you just love, whether it's one of your own games? Maybe you're on your couch at home watching overtime hockey. Is there anything better for you?
No, the way that hockey has changed and gone to that 3-on-3 overtime, I mean, I love it. Like even on Sunday, I was watching the Badgers and Ohio State play, and they went to the 3-on-3 overtime, and there's going to be chances. And it's just such an entertaining thing for all fans.
And that actually concluded a long stretch at home here. You will head out on the road here for a little bit now, starting first with Team USA, and we're going to be seeing the U17 or U18 team.
We'll see the U18 team on Friday, and then make our way over to Muskegon for both Saturday and Sunday.
And with the U18 team, obviously some of the best hockey players that you can find, and how have they maybe grown so far? Obviously, they might be still kind of bouncing around between different international competitions and stuff like that too. How have they looked so far this year?
Yeah, they've had a great start to their year. They've done extremely well in our league, and then even at the college level, they've knocked off probably 6 or 7 Division I teams already. So they're playing some nice hockey. I mean, it's going to be, our structure is going to have to be very engaged, and they're going to get some chances. But ideally we stay patient in the game and take advantage of our opportunities. Our power play is playing very well right now, and that's where you could take advantage of some of their mistakes if we can get them to take some sloppy penalties and get on the power play and let that shine.
Does that ever get into people's heads when you hear about the U18 team going into the different college ranks and having success?
I mean, all of our guys have a great deal of respect for their players. I mean, we all know they're a very talented team. When we've had success against those groups is when we've stayed patient and maybe a little bit try to frustrate them and not allow them to have things be easy. But it's an extremely tough matchup. I mean, they're there because they are those type of players. They've got some extremely talented kids, and so it's just making sure that we're responsible and patient, and then when we get our opportunities, we're going to have to take advantage.
And then you have Muskegon after that as well, and it's got to be nice for you playing 3 games, but not necessarily have to crisscross the entire region to play those games.
Yeah, we'll make our way to Muskegon right after that game on Friday, and then base out of there for that Saturday, Sunday. So it's Muskegon. We just got to see them right before the break. Quite familiar with their group. And we'll see them again here at the end of the month. So it's a good little test for us to go into their building and earn some points.
And what were you able to take away from that Muskegon game, right before the Christmas break there that you're going to have to maybe do a little bit better or keep on doing to pick up some victories on the road?
Yeah, we played 5 pretty good periods against them. We had a disappointing third period against going into break. I think our guys left for break a period early, but other than that, we played pretty well against them. They've got some forwards that we have to be aware of, respect their talent, but I think we want to play our game. We want to try to dictate things in that offensive zone and make them defend us. I mean, that's a key for us against, just about any opponent in this league is, making sure that we're playing our game well.
Who are your forwards right now that you feel like are giving the opposition's defensemen the most trouble right now?
Well, I mean, the line of Hallam, Green, and Lund has been, extremely consistent on that score sheet. But I really like where the Middlestad, DeBoer, and Scholl line's at right now. They are in the offensive zone way more than they were early in the year, and they're in those hard areas. And that's one of those things that they kind of break down teams and cause extended ozone play, which leads to our other groups coming out there and getting to play against some tired groups. So I really like where their game's at, but we've been scoring throughout our lineup right now, which is what we were hoping for early in the season.
And how important is it to have lines like that kind of maybe they don't necessarily fill up the stat sheet as much as another line, but maybe they do some different things. Like in that case, that line sounds like they might operate a little bit differently, but they certainly take it out on the defenseman and really cause some good action.
Well, and that, like I said, they kind of break down your opponent for you. And they're an older line, they're a heavier line, they're an experienced line. So they enjoy that side of the game, like really playing in those hard areas and getting to the crease. Maddie DeBoer was all over the net the other night, like just rebound opportunity after rebound opportunity. And so I think you'll start to see that on the score sheet a lot more, just because now they're starting to see the benefits of playing in that hard area and really breaking down their opponent.
And then finally here, obviously we're coming off a year where you pretty much went from hotel to hotel and didn't do anything this year, maybe a little bit looser rules. Any hot spots in Muskegon that you're looking forward to?
No, I'll ask my assistant coaches if there's any spots, but Muskegon's always kind of a 5-minute walk to the rink, and it's right off of Lake Michigan, and it's always cold. So I just try to bundle up and make that walk to the rink, and then bundle up and walk back to the hotel.
There's no other places. You just order in when you're in Muskegon.
The hotel has all the accommodations there with we eat all of our meals right at the hotel, and so it's a nice setup that way. But yeah, I have not toured Muskegon to give any kind of what would it be, the food critic updates or anything that way.
You're not going to see Pat Mikesch's name on Muskegon Yelp pages, is what you're saying.
There you go, right there. That was what I was looking for.
Which is a shame, because I hear Muskegon's lovely this time of year.
Yeah, it seems like it's as cold as it is here. I have to believe crossing over Lake Michigan, we're gonna have some chills there on Saturday and Sunday.
Another 10 or 15 degree difference, I'm sure. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. And once again, Gamblers out of town this weekend. They're going to play Team USA and then a pair of games against Muskegon. Good luck, and we'll talk to you next week.
Sounds good. Look forward to it.
And for New Radio Sports Network, I'm Tim Coles.